Today is February the 17th, 2016. My name is Tanya Finchum, and along with me is Alex Bishop. We're with Oklahoma State University, and today we are in Stillwater, Oklahoma, to interview Ruth Martin, and this is part of our Oklahoma 100-Year Life project, so thank you for having us today.
You're welcome.
Let's begin with having you tell us when and where you were born.
I was born December the 11th, 1915, about 4 miles out from the little town of Isabel, Oklahoma.
I'm not sure where that is.
It's about 35 miles from Enid.
Okay, so a little north of us. Well, what did your parents do for a living?
At that time they were farmers.
What did they farm? Anything and everything?
A wheat farm. A wheat farm.
Did you have brothers and sisters?
I had 2 brothers,
Older or younger?
younger.
Younger.
One was 7 years younger and the other was 11. Mother had 3 families.
3.
Because of our birth.
Birth, okay. She got everyone out of diapers before she had the next one.
Right.
Well, were they from Oklahoma, your parents?
No. I'm not real sure about my grandpa Hall's family, but I think they came from Ohio. And my mother's family came from Kansas.
Okay. Halls, H-A-W-S or H-A-L-L-S?
Just H-A-L-L.
H-A-L-L. Okay. And so it was a wheat farmer. Did you live out on a farm?
Mm-hmm.
Did you have chores?
No, we moved from that farm. My grandfather had made the run, but we moved back here to Stillwater.
Oh.
And I don't remember how many years we lived here to Stillwater. Then we moved to Ponca City. And my dad was the assistant manager of the store there in Ponca City. Piggly Wiggly.
Piggly Wiggly, oh.
Yeah,
Grocery store.
right.
He didn't much like farming then.
I think he liked the wheat farming. I don't know for sure, but I kind of think it was my mother that.
Funny how that works, isn't it?
Right.
Well, where did you go to elementary school?
I went out here to Pleasant Valley my first year.
Really? Okay. That's the building that's on Sanger and 19th now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And then we moved to Isabel, and I went to school there in the little town.
What was the name of that school, do you remember?
It was probably just Isabel.
Was it through the 8th grade?
Yes.
And then where did you go to high school?
Ponca City. Then the Great Depression hit us, and we moved out here on a farm that was my grandmother's. And that's where we lived a while, and my daughter has, and her family have a nice house out there now.
Still have the land in the family.
Yeah.
What year did you graduate from high school? 1932, maybe? 3?
Well, I lost a half a semester because of the Depression. We had to move. We lost our home in town.
Oh.
And so that meant we moved. We moved back here, out on the farm where,
And the farm was in Payne County?
it is in Payne County.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, did you have a favorite subject while you were in school?
Oh, I suppose after I really learned how to read, I liked reading books.
Novels or biographies or?
Oh, historical novels were one that I enjoyed.
Well, after you graduated from high school, what did you do?
I got married.
And what was his name?
Lauren Martin.
And how did you meet him?
Well, you've heard of, probably, maybe you haven't, brush arbor meetings.
Mhm.
Well, we met at a brush arbor meeting.
What's a brush arbor meeting?
He doesn't know. Do you want to explain it?
Well, it was at a church would build an arbor that be logs or whatever and cover it. And then they would have a preacher that would preach and challenge you to live the way the Lord wants you to live.
Kind of like a revival.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we don't have very many of those anymore.
No.
And that's the thing that bothers me the most, is how great we have changed in this 100 years.
Good and bad changes.
Well, yes, but naturally, if you put a dot on a paper, you're going to see the dot, so you are inclined to see them. There's lots of good, but there's lots of changes that have been
You've,
bad for us.
you've seen a lot too.
Yeah.
What do you remember seeing your first car?
You know, we had a Dort.
A dart?
And
Oh,
Dort.
Dort.
Dort. I'm not sure what a dort is.
It looked just like, well, it was like Henry Ford's car, only it was a little more plush. Not a great deal, but just a little bigger. I think they lasted about 10 years.
That's pretty good. Yeah. Did you learn to drive on it?
No, I was a little
Too
bit
little.
too. Well, I did drive in pasture one time while Dad was fixing the fence. I would drive from pole to pole or to post to post.
Was it black? Do you remember what color?
Yeah,
it was black.
Yes, it was black. And it was black all its life.
But before you got the car, how would you get from one place to another?
That was before I was born, so I guess there was horse and buggy.
Okay. Well, how would you get to school?
I walked.
Walked.
Went out here to Pleasant Valley my first year.
And you walked. Rain, snow, sleet, whatever.
But it wasn't 10 miles.
Or uphill.
No.
Well, so you got married in what year do you recall?
See, I went back to school when I was 42. do you, Joyce, remember?
Which year you got married? 1939.
28.
1939. 39.
1939.
That's when I was married.
Did you get married in a church?
A church that was here that is no longer here.
And did you have a special dress?
Yes, I made my dress.
You did.
It wasn't satin, but it was white.
Bake your own pattern or buy one? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Long or short?
Long.
Long.
Mm-hmm.
And did you go on a honeymoon?
Yes. We went to Winona Lake, Indiana.
Okay.
That was a church affiliated camp.
And what did he do for a living, your husband?
He was the accountant for, now here I always have a brain, I want to say World Impact, but that's not it.
Well, accountant's good enough. That's fine. It was here in Stillwater.
No, it's Oklahoma City.
So you've always lived in Oklahoma?
Yes.
Just various places in
Yes.
Oklahoma.
There's many places, but
Do you have a favorite place in Oklahoma?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Where do you consider home?
Stillwater.
Stillwater.
Yeah, my grandparents had a farm. They're out there by the Pleasant Valley Schoolhouse.
What did they raise?
I suppose you'd say various things. I can remember corn, but
Dairy? Did they have a dairy?
no.
You have to milk some cows anyway?
I asked to, which was a stupid thing to do. I asked to learn to milk a cow, but I didn't have to very many times.
Did you get the hang of it?
Yeah,
You did.
yeah, I might be able to do it yet.
Well, who taught you how to sew? If you made your wedding dress, who taught you how to sew?
My mother. Then I had one class at school.
A home ec type class?
Yeah, made dress.
Where would you get your fabric?
We had Montgomery Ward and Sears then. So probably one of them.
Mail order?
No, we didn't use mail order very much. We just
At a Montgomery store? Montgomery Ward store?
well, they had here in Oklahoma, in Stillwater, they had cats that,
That's right. Yes. And they had fabric?
I'm not real sure.
I'm not sure either. They may have had everything, but
They had a lot.
and so did you have children?
3.
3?
Yeah, there's one of them. It's Joyce, they live here. And the girl and her family is in Texas, close to Tyler. And then I have a son and his family that live in Canyon City, Colorado.
Scattered a little bit. Did you space them like your mother spaced hers?
Well, they all have about 4 years between them.
Out of diapers too then before the next one. You mentioned you went back to school when you were 42.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
My husband had ulcers, and he had a bleeding ulcer that wouldn't stop. So they took out 3/4 of his stomach. So that left us with the idea that maybe I better have something to do in case I needed to. But that was the reason I went back to school. But he lived till he was in his 70s. So, and he was able to eat. Some could scarcely. Well, it's like these that they have today. They're a success, and some of them aren't.
Well, where did you go back to college? Where did you go to college?
To the Nazarene College in Bethany.
Okay. And what was your major?
I started out with speech, but then I got married, and I decided I wanted to teach children instead of teenagers. So I finished up with for grade school, and I went on and got my master's with them.
From there, same place?
Mm-hmm.
And then you
No,
taught?
I got my master's at Edmond.
Oh, UCO,
Mm-hmm.
Central Oklahoma. And then did you teach?
24 years.
What grade?
4th grade. 1st grade and 4th grade.
Takes a lot of patience, doesn't it?
Yes.
You like one better than the other?
I liked one, 1st grade, because it was a time then when they learned to read. But I liked the 4th grade because they were more curious. Well, not more curious, more better than the 1st grade.
Ready to learn more?
Mm-hmm.
Where did you teach?
In the Bethany Public School.
Bethany.
You know, it's a suburb of Oklahoma City.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's what you'd call it.
Yeah, it's a suburb, bedroom community. Did schools in those 24 years, did much change within the school system?
Quite a bit, but it would always change back. My superintendent, one of the things, the first thing they told me was that schools were always changing, and you've seen that.
Mm-hmm. Well, by the 42, your children were already grown or in high school, or so that's why you went back
Yeah.
to. And then you retired.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do after you retired?
What did I do? Move up here?
Travel any?
You went to Europe soon after you retired, you and Dad.
Traveled some?
Yeah. We went to Europe. I got to go to Europe 2 times, so it was interesting.
Where in Europe?
Well, the first time we went to England, and then we joined a tour group in 9 other countries. Holland and France and Italy. And I don't remember
That's okay.
the rest of
It
them.
was a fun trip.
Yes.
And then the second time?
My youngest granddaughter and I went.
Just the two of you?
Mm-hmm.
That was special.
Yeah.
go to England or?
We went to England, and I always stayed quite a little bit in Wales. Yeah, we liked that. It's an interesting little country. But pretty too. It's green and maybe not as green as Ireland. We didn't get to go to Ireland.
And did you like London?
Not any more than any big city. It was more unique, of course, but
Changing of the guards?
yeah, I watched that.
The only other thing I can think of is Big Ben.
I stood under Big Ben when it chimed its noonday.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah,
You plan to do that?
no, but it just worked out. Well, we've gone to the church that Queen Elizabeth goes to. And then we went across over there. There was a restaurant on the other side, so we could. But it came at that particular moment for us to be,
Meant to be.
yeah. But it was. I had always dreamed of hearing a lark. And we don't have 'em. Not these particular kind. But that's another story, though.
That's okay. Did you hear one?
Yeah, we rented a cottage. And the first evening that we were there, why, I saw this little bird take off, and it sang all the way up in the air and all the way down. Oh. But that's in England. We have birds here too.
Are you a bird watcher?
Yeah, I'm one of those stupid bird watchers.
They're not stupid.
I heard somebody say that one time. She didn't know that I was around. But anyway,
I like to listen to them. I don't know too much about them, but I like to listen.
yeah, well, I know most of them around here. I mean, what they are.
What's your favorite native bird?
I suppose the cardinal. However, the little chickadee is a mighty funny little bird. And they're so tiny, they're almost, oh, not quite, but they're almost as tiny as the hummingbird.
I see those once in a while.
Yeah.
Chickadees, I'm not sure I would know what they were.
They wear a little black cap.
Okay. I'll pay attention. Cardinals we see from time to time.
Yeah, we had, the most we've seen, 6, I think, this year. At one time, I mean,
I've been told that they don't live in California because they can't make it over the Rockies. I don't know if that's true or not.
well, they don't, that's right, but I doubt it,
That's the reason.
right. Because it seems like in every state there's certain birds that are not in the other states.
Like the scissor tail that's here.
Yes.
Right.
And they're very few anymore of them.
Yeah, I had never seen one till I moved here. They didn't have them. I'm from Tennessee. Hadn't seen one there. They're neat to watch though, with their tails
Mm-hmm.
going.
I got a picture in there that I drew.
So you're an artist?
Not exactly. But I can draw a straight line.
Did you paint or just sketch?
I did a little bit of all of it.
After you were in college or before did you get started?
Oh, I guess I doodled on practically all the paper I had. I was going to school.
Doodled?
Yeah,
So you have a little creativity.
I guess that's what you call it.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was fun.
Well, did you sew and make your kids' clothes?
I didn't sell anything, but I made the girls their clothes. I made David one outfit. Boys' clothes are too hard to make.
Well, did you quilt?
My grandmother was making me a quilt for my wedding. So I went to visit her and learned how to quilt a little bit down here at the end. That's all I've ever. That's not mine. That's too tedious.
And it takes a lot of time. Did she finish it for you? The one that she started?
Yes. And then when we lived out east of town of Oklahoma City, somebody broke into our house and took it.
Do you remember what pattern it was?
But she made then, or had a top, Road to Oklahoma, and I do have it finished.
Road to Oklahoma. Yeah, I've seen that.
It's all a whole lot of little blocks.
Yeah, little like 2-inch blocks, yes. Well, that's a shame that someone stole yours.
Yeah.
So you lived in Enid, Isabel, Stillwater, Oklahoma City,
Ponca City.
Ponca City. Any place else?
Did you name, well, actually, Bethany?
Oh, no, Bethany.
Bethany.
Oh,
That's where we, at the edge of Bethany is where we spent the,
most of your married life.
right.
Well, do you remember seeing your first airplane?
Yes, I rode in my first airplane. Maybe it wasn't the first one I saw. But my brother, who was about 16, had learned how to fly one. So, right out here on the corner of Lakeview and
Country Club.
Country Club? Country Club?
I can't read lips.
That's okay.
Yeah. My brother had a little one-seater. So he took me out. We flew around. So I like to fly.
Well, at 16, he was a pilot.
Yeah, that was back.
When
I
the
don't
real-
suppose he had to have a pilot's license or anything, probably. If he did, he broke the law.
Well, did he have his own plane?
Well, he and I think the boy's name was Payne. They had the plane together, and there may have been some others, I don't know, but they shared.
So how old would you have been, roughly?
Oh, don't tell me to do numbers.
No. I'm just at one. Did you have to ask your mother permission before you went up with him? Is the main thing.
No.
No. But did she know you were going up with him?
You know, I don't remember that there were anybody with us that day except his wife and I guess my husband was out there too.
Oh, you were older then.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to do my math because you said he was younger than you.
And he was married at 16, so.
Well, he was married at 16.
No, she was. She got
No,
married.
She got married later.
She was 20.
22.
22.
Oh, he
Yes,
was.
he
He
My,
was.
brother-
16.
my brother is 16.
So very well might have gone up when he was 16.
Right, they eloped.
Yeah,
Well, if it was a one-seater, where did you sit?
well, I meant one seater would mean
One
the
passenger.
driver and
One passenger.
passenger.
Okay.
So that's all I. Yeah.
Well, you talked about a little bit about the Great Depression. Can you talk a little more what it was like around here at the time?
Oh, we didn't have it as bad as they did in New York. I don't know whether we ever had any soup lines or not down through Oklahoma. But we lost our home in Ponca City. And my grandma had this farm out here that she had inherited from her son, and there was a little 3-room house that we moved into. No running water. But we survived.
How was it heated?
Stove,
Wood?
wood. Yeah. And we cooked by wood. I can remember seeing Mother can green beans over that hot stove. In summertime you could really get hot when the stove was going.
She had a large garden
Yeah.
and a cellar. Storm cellar. Or
Well, that
roof
depends
cellar.
on which place we were living in.
Okay. Well, how would you do bath time at that place?
Bath? Well, see, we had a tub, and we'd fill the tub up.
Not with running water though.
No, had a bucket.
Bucket. How would you heat it?
Our stove had what they called only I don't remember. It had a tank like on the end of it. And that was heated by the stove going. So that would be the way we would. Well then, if your stove is going, you could put a bucket on.
Would you do that once a week or every day or how often?
Once a week.
Once a week.
Of course, the men that worked in the fields, they would make a dive into the ponds, and at the end of the day, sometimes when they worked in dirty work.
Well, what were holidays like?
Well, Christmas was much more of a sacred day than it is now. And I don't know, other holidays we observed them maybe. I remember we usually had shamrock valentine, at least, on our door or someplace.
Celebrate July 4th.
Yeah,
Homemade ice cream.
oh yeah. Homemade ice cream was sometimes a disaster. Sometimes it wasn't good ice cream. And so you kind of knew which ones to pick out. It's like good cookies and bad cookies.
And which were you?
In between.
How about your mom?
My mom was a good cook.
What was the favorite thing that she fixed that you liked?
Our homemade ice cream.
When it worked?
Yeah,
Well, would she fry her chicken or bake it?
she fried it.
Fried it.
I don't know of anybody that bakes chicken except you baked your turkey, but you fried your chicken.
Did she have chickens?
Yeah, we had
You
chicken.
had chickens.
Yeah.
Who would do the wringing their necks?
My mother.
Would she?
I did a few times, but I didn't care for that.
Did you typically eat a lot of chicken or pork or beef?
We probably ate more chicken. We usually would kill a roaster, a pig, and that would be to go along with the chicken.
Had a smokehouse to cure it?
No, we didn't happen to have one.
Hmm.
I guess we moved too much to
Yeah.
when I was little, at least.
Well, back in the first and second grade through there, did you all do the Pledge of Allegiance?
Of course.
Did you?
And we usually sang the song America.
Well, when you worked at Bethany in the school system, did they do the Pledge of Allegiance? Still?
That came in probably just about the time I retired, that you couldn't,
That they stopped?
yeah.
Mhm.
Since I read to my children out of the Bible usually.
You couldn't do that today.
Yes, I could.
You could?
I could end up in jail too. No, but I think there is a way to get around it.
You think?
It's good literature. So why couldn't you read it and say it's good literature? Well, yeah, we could have a special one of, anyway.
There you go.
Well, I want to know, teachers usually have a child they remember. Do you have a particular student you remember?
Well, yes, a little boy named Larry. Maybe I should say his name though.
First name's fine.
All right, Larry. His mother had been on drugs, so his aunt had adopted him. But in school, he was like he was being having withdrawals all the time. He was just continually doing something. Well, I wondered about him because he was, well, he really had a hard time of it.
Did you follow him through?
No, I didn't have an opportunity to do that. Wished I had.
Just hope for the best.
Right. You do what you can and then leave it to what they would retain.
Well, when we got here, you were talking about one of your favorite books.
Well, Luann over here, you got it on Facebook,
Secondhand store.
secondhand store.
The Little Black Sambo storybook.
And they took it off. Little Black Sambo was, he's actually an Indian from India. But they got so all worked up about it that they had him Little Black Sambo.
Well, when you were teaching, did you use the book? Or that different time period, maybe?
Well, I can't remember using it in the classroom, but I used it at home.
Okay.
It was, I don't think it was because I couldn't. I think it was just because there were so many good books that,
Yeah.
Well, do you have a favorite book, personally, a book that you enjoy the most, that you've read?
well, this, I would say the Bible has been mine. I think I read it through 4 times.
Favorite verse?
Search me, O Lord, and see if there be any wicked way in me. Prove me, and I don't remember the rest. Prove me there. But lots of things go through. And you look back and you see some funny things and some not so funny things.
Well, growing up, was church an important part of your life?
Oh yeah. Well, not the first 9 years of my life, but after that I was.
Well, what changed at that point?
My mother and dad made a real commitment to the Lord.
When you were 9?
Somewhere along there.
And what denomination?
Free Methodists.
Methodist?
You probably haven't heard of the Free Methodists.
No?
They started in the east, up around New York City.
Well, once you started to church, did you participate in like the choir and music or?
Well, I don't have much musical ability, but I did sing in the choir some. Yeah.
Favorite song, church song? You don't have to sing it. just the name.
Wow. There would be a number of them, but I guess Love Lifted Me would be what I would.
I remember that one. Yeah, it's a good one.
They're all new ones now.
Well, did you ever think you would make it to 100?
No,
No. Has anyone else in your family?
no. I had a grandpa that made it to 97. No, it wasn't a grandpa. But anyway, somebody in my family made it to 97. But my parents were in their 70s.
Well, when you reached 99, you thought, I want one more year?
Right.
Oh, what's your secret to living so long, longevity?
Well, I said it was a gift of God. Not many people do, so it must be.
How did you celebrate?
Had close to 100 people to come and say congratulations or whatever.
Had a big party, huh?
Up there in the lounge.
Did they put 100 candles on your cake? Or just a 100? 100? Good. It'd be hard to blow out 100.
Yeah, it would be.
Well, is there anything on your bucket list that you still want to do that you haven't?
Oh, there's several things. One of my great-granddaughters graduates from college this year. I'd like to go see that. But I'd like to make a trip to all of them one more time, at least.
All of them, all your...
All my children. Got another question? I can't think of any.
You're doing good.
Well, when history's written, what would you like it to say about you? How do you want to be remembered?
First, that I loved God, then my family, and that my family include not just my immediate family, but the people of the world. And I guess that's it.
And being 100, what's a typical day like for you? What time do you get up? How do you start your day, and what do you do during the day? And can you describe that?
I sleep till about 9 o'clock. Then I have my breakfast. And I have a little devotional book I read. And then in the afternoon, sometimes, I haven't lately, but sometimes I have some little cards I make with flowers on them. And and I read some in there between.
And what time do you go to bed?
I go to bed about 9 o'clock. I'm getting plenty of rest.
You watch much television?
No. I watch Wheel of Fortune some, but there's not too much on that that's uplifting or anything.
Not Jeopardy.
I can't see how some of the things are even called good advertisement.
Well, to keep up with current events, how do you do that? Watch the news or?
Yeah, usually.
Yeah.
Then I listen to people and hear what they have to say about various things. That's always interesting.
What do you call the noon meal? Lunch or dinner or
Dinner,
dinner? And then what's the late meal?
supper.
So breakfast, dinner, and supper.
Mhm.
I like to ask that question. We get different answers. Lunch is lunch and supper
Yeah.
is dinner. So, and you grew up with dinner being the noon meal?
Yes. Of course, when we were married, it was probably the other way. Because my husband had to eat lunch.
Well, back at when you were in the elementary school, how did they do lunch? Did you have to take your own or did you go home?
If you were close enough, you went home. And I went to my grandma's part of the time because she lived close enough. Otherwise, you put it in a gallon or a half gallon, I don't know which was, little bucket.
In a bucket. Well, what would you have in the bucket?
Oh, probably, I don't know, I didn't have to.
Oh, you went home. What would she have waiting for you?
I don't remember.
Fried chicken.
Maybe so.
Maybe so. Well, would she do cakes or cookies? Or sweets?
Well, I can remember her one time giving me a quarter to go to the store to get some cookies. And I got quite a number of cookies for a quarter.
Did any of them make them back home?
Mm-hmm. They did. There was one fluffy kind that I had wanted for a long time, but I couldn't afford it. But that day I could. But it didn't taste half that good. It's all looks.
So you could walk to the store without an adult during that time?
Well, during that time, yeah.
Mhm.
I was staying with my grandma while we were making the adjustments for the Depression.
Mhm. Well, how often would you get a new pair of shoes?
I can only remember one pair of shoes. And I wanted them so badly. Probably once a year.
Once. Time for school, new school.
Yeah.
Well, during the summer, would you go barefooted?
Oh, yeah.
Did they do home remedies of some kind that you remember? If something happened?
Oh, they had several kinds of things that they, linseed oil and
If you got a bee sting?
soda, I think.
Snake bite?
I don't know about that.
You didn't get, I didn't have one, huh?
No.
Well, would the doctor make house calls?
Yeah.
Were you born at home or in a hospital at home?
And I fell off the horse and broke my arm, and the doctor came out and said it.
So your family had horses?
Well, no, I was a girlfriend's.
Oh, okay.
She had a horse. Well, we did have horses, but not at that time.
Well, when you would get in trouble, who would do the discipline, your mother or your father?
Probably mother more than dad.
But you didn't get in trouble that much.
Of course not.
Of course not. Well, did y'all have a Christmas tree? Chopped down yourself?
I imagine most of them were a cedar tree. Until I started bringing in the commercial ones. And I can't remember any commercial trees until along about 39 somewhere. There might have been, but
What did you typically get as a gift in Christmas or during Christmas?
well, usually it was clothes or something useful.
Not a baby doll?
Well, I didn't. Yes, I did get a baby doll, but it got broken. So that's,
By a brother or by you?
no, somebody went tearing through the room where it was and knocked it off.
Oh, it's a porcelain head or, yeah. Well, the shoes that you wanted really bad, what were they like?
They were brown around the edges and tan where the tongue is.
Lace-ups? High tops?
No,
No?
just, well, whatever you call it, I forgot what we call her.
On Oxford?
Yeah,
You had to wear dresses to school? Or did you get to wear pants?
well, there was nobody wore pants.
But the boys, yeah. While I'm thinking about it, she asked for you to tell us a little bit more about how you met your husband. Is at the brush arbor, but what's more?
Well, it goes back, really. He was probably about 5 or 6 or 7, somewhere along in there. And then he grew up and went off to college. And the boy he roomed with had lived in our town, and so we kind of exchanged letters. And then I started going with him, and we went out to Lake OOHRP and walked across that bridge, and it was a romantic bridge. And he didn't propose to me then, but that's when I knew that he was kind of concerned, or kind of interested in me.
And how did he propose?
It was one moonlight night. And we were sitting out in the our front yard. And that's when he proposed to me. He just asked me if I loved him enough to live my life with him. And the answer was yes. So it was the beginning.
That was the beginning. Did he have a ring then? At
No.
that point?
No,
Did you get to pick out your ring?
no, now this will sound silly to you, but our church at that time did not believe in wearing rings. They do now.
So you just exchange vows and no rings? Did you get a ring later?
Well, yeah, somewhere in there it's my wedding ring. I never got a fancy one, but there's that one's my wedding ring.
It's a sentimental one. That's what counts.
Yeah.
Got the most important question. Did he ask your father?
Later he did.
He would have said yes anyway, wouldn't he? Your dad?
I think he would.
Was he much older than you?
My husband,
Uh-huh.
no, I was older than him, about 3 years.
You were older than him. You robbed the cradle.
Ah,
But he was already out of college at that time?
yes, he had just taken 2 years, and then he got a job. And later he went back and finished up.
Well, were you working at that time when you were dating him? Were you working somewhere?
No.
No. Still living at home? Oh, you were, no, okay. Still living at home. That's a pretty good story. Moonlit night.
It was, I can't remember the moon.
Well, what would you do for dates?
Well, lots of times we just sit and talk.
Well, that was the 30s and money was tight
Right.
during that time.
When I was in college, I'd carry around a nickel in my pocket so that I wouldn't be broke.
Well, would you go to dances or was that not something the church would
Yeah.
do?
No, that,
Did he have to serve in World War II?
he had a heart murmur, and so
Okay.
that put him on 4. But he was getting down on the list pretty far. If the war hadn't stopped, he probably had to go on.
Okay. Were your brothers? Did your brothers have to?
They were too much younger then,
Okay.
but eventually both of them served a while.
Anything else you want to ask? Anything else you want to tell us before we shut off? Something that might surprise your daughter? Something she might not have heard?
Something that you might not. Well, our children ask me always to tell my ouchie stories, so I think I've told all my stories.
Did you have your children at home or in the hospital?
The hospital.
Hospital.
St. Anthony and Deaconess.
Well, you've seen a lot of changes in Oklahoma City in your time too.
Every time I go back there, I feel like I'm in a foreign land.
Well, when you were first married in there, did they have streetcars when you first went to Oklahoma City?
They had one that they hadn't taken up.
Okay.
Did I hear that they were planning to put them back?
I think there at least one. I think I've heard that too. Yeah. What goes around comes back around, I guess.
I guess so.
Well, I appreciate you talking with us today. It's been fun.
Well, thank you. I enjoyed it too.
You've done great. Thank you.